Okay, so with the return of knives back to their former glory, it's safe to say that tank playstyle got a slight buff with that. And they've had a number of small slight buffs fairly recently. So first one is Frost Caves. So they got Fenris armor. Fenris armor allows them to move faster, which is good because it's you want to get between enemy and your friends. So having the Fenris armor plus tower shield, it's just gonna be much better than normal. And in the planes you can go, Fenris hood, root harness, Fenris pants, and you should be just good to go, set, 100% set. Or if you have friends that are doing 100% root, you could just go full Fenris, and you're super speedy. Although I would recommend root harness because the piercing enemies in the planes are ridiculous. The knife buff, or the knife return to normal, really, allows for tanks to sneak, get up into creature's face, let's say falling berserker, and get huge damage on, and then basically remain in melee and do tank shenanigans. So now tanks get their big knife opener back. And you might be asking, why would I run knife with tower shield? And that is because post Hearth and Home, shields and big tower shields, blocking enemies with them, pushed them backward. So in order to maintain aggro, it is best to have a weapon or weapons, the master, that are one-handed, that can close some sort of distance. So the best options were the knife, because the knife middle mouse, and just the speed of the knife has no movement speed reduction, really good, and it's just fast, low stamina cost. Get that aggro back. It also has, I think I just mentioned the middle mouse, but yeah, just that gap closer. As soon as you bounce an enemy back, you can middle mouse with the knife, get right up in the enemy's face, and you're pretty much set. Like, you have aggro again. Boom, done and done. The second option that they have is Spear, because Spear has the middle mouse toss, and that is a good sort of mid or long ranged option to regain aggro, deal some damage in the process. However, I think that it's not enough. That is not enough. That tanks got a couple of mini buffs. Because overall, now I'm gonna drop this bomb on you, they're still kinda useless. You know, it's very subjective. Play them. And I don't blame you if you like playing them. Play what you like. It's, you know, whatever. Doesn't have any effect on me. However, I would love if tanks actually were a proper playstyle. Something that the game didn't just say, oh, you can play this if you really want to, but actually encouraged with its mechanics. Wouldn't that be lovely, right? So, for that to happen, I think there needs to be a couple of changes. And these changes will actually see a couple of fixes that the community really wanted. Number one, tower shields. I think tower shields should have a big change on certain weapon movesets. And this is where it'll fix other aspects of the game. I think that equipping a tower shield, they should have less movement speed reduction. Just straight up, like from 20 to 15%. If you saw my last video on the Serpent Scale Shield, you know that I thought that Serpent Scale Shield should go from 15 to 10% movement speed reduction. So the sort of movement speed balance would still stay the same. As for the alteration of the moveset, I think that a middle mouse, even with a one-handed weapon equipped, with the tower shield, should be a shield bash. You know, there should be like a short animation where sort of slam the shield into the ground a little bit and then you push it forward. Kind of like, you know, like the Dark Souls Elden Ring from Software style shield bash, except it should be a little different. That would be the middle mouse with like a one-handed club, one-handed anything, basically. Knife, what have you. And then you could double tap your middle mouse to get a normal or altered weapon moveset for the special attack. So what I mean by this is, I think that the spears, axes, or one-handed axes, and swords, one-handed swords, well, I guess we only have one-handed swords, they should be somewhat altered when you equip a tower shield, and only a tower shield in moveset. So it should be reflective so that you can attack while blocking. Yes, might cost you some extra stamina, of course, but that's fine. Because, well, you're gonna be put at extra risk. I think that spear should, while you attack while blocking, should have the standard grip and not the overhand grip. Something which a lot of people have been wondering and wanting for a long time, why it isn't there. And what's also super interesting is that spear altered middle mouse could be a 180 degree swipe in front of you. Oh, no. So just like the act gear there, but only 180 degrees. And it should be not as much stagger, but definitely an increased amount of stagger than the normal spear moveset. And I think that the spear overhand, or not overhand, regular moveset should be a deliberate poke, just a little bit faster, or maybe the same speed as the act gear, but with maybe a little bit less range. I think a cool idea for the one-handed axe with tower shield is that once you double click middle mouse, you could get a big overhead chop. And of course the regular moveset change could be somewhat chopping as well, which would make it really, really good at clearing stumps, which people have been wanting for a long time as well. I personally would love that. Swords, of course, they would just be sort of the historical, you know, you're kind of stabbing or slicing from the side, like directly to the side of the shield. And all of these sort of hitboxes for these animations would be pretty precise. So it would take some skill to use compared to normal. And I think that's warranted considering the benefits of tanking and blocking at the same time. So that was my sort of theoretical changes and thoughts over fixing tower shields and hopefully spears and one-handed axes at the same time. I don't think that swords particularly needed to be altered, but I think that it would be a very welcome addition. I don't think the sword middle mouse needs to be changed at all in this regard. Just move it a little bit off to the side so that it looks good. And you're not literally just poking through the shield, of course. So, let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys some other time.